Good afternoon. We have a special guest speaker for you today. Please give a warm welcome to the hosts of My Gym Partners, a podcast. Attendance is mandatory.
Bull shark, porcupine, I don't know what, doing this podcast a pain in the...
That movie taught us a lesson. No matter how small you are, you can make a difference.
Oh,
Right.
I love Horton Hears a Who.
That was no. It was the comment for a YouTube video. Happy Feet 2. Sven singing Numa Numa. Mr. Boo Love convert. And
way to call him out, Kurt.
no, I wasn't. That's the name of the fucking video. It's not the name of the
Commenter?
The commenter. I'm not just being like, shout out to this random YouTube comment.
Well, you
except
are.
I guess I kinda am.
Yeah.
Because I read it.
So, hey everybody, welcome to My Gym Partners, a podcast. We watched Happy Feet 1 and 2.
And it's all we can think about. All I can think about. Literally, like 2 nights ago. I think it was like 2 nights ago. I was just like, I kept repeating the penguin Numa Numa, like, in my head. And it just kept going on forever and ever, and I couldn't sleep. And
Maya.
Maya who? Maya ha?
It's just like, all the characters are so good in Happy Feet 2. Elijah Wood does an excellent job as Mumble.
He does.
I love Mumble.
I love
Honestly,
Mumble.
I think he's an iconic character.
He is. He's a baby penguin, right? He's a
Okay. We can't keep doing this. This is a monkey show, not a Happy Feet podcast. We're doing.
You're gonna stop. You're gonna stop the. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, it is a happy... Wait, what am I doing here? I gotta go. I thought this was the Happy Feet podcast room. I sorry everybody. I guess I'll take my leave. You know what I really appreciate about Happy Feet 2 is I feel like in Happy Feet 1,
not even listening.
the ending of Happy Feet 1 is a bit anticlimactic because it's like, and then the humans solve everything, and then it just like kind of time skips, and there's like a sun and everything, and we don't really get to see the like resolution to like Gloria and Mumble's like fight. But in Happy Feet 2, the humans attempt to help, but are driven away by the blizzard. And so then it's up to Mumble and his, like, friends, you know, the other penguins and the elephant seals. They have to work together, and also the krill, and it's like this big finale musical number, you know, Under Pressure's playing, everyone's dancing, it's like, and then the music's swelling, and like the baby penguins are singing, and it feels amazing because they're working together, and then they solve the problem. They do.
Yeah, like, this movie is like really cool because it shows that you don't need like an outside force to like help you, like, through your struggles. You can get through them on your own. Like, you matter. You're able to, like, pull through yourself.
Every little step counts, no matter how small you are. Even if you're a little krill, you can push the snow and push the, you know, big iceberg that's blocking the other penguins from escaping.
Even if you're 200 million billion krill underneath the ice, your feet matter.
All right. Okay. Back to My Gym Partners, a podcast. The podcast where we talk about My Gym Partners, a monkey. We have a weird episode afoot.
Oh, that was smooth.
I don't want to talk about the first one.
Look, we got it. We do this show. Well, look, I think it's like a pretty interesting how weird these episodes have gotten. This is a strange episode we have here. 2 of these episodes. They've, you know, like I said before, they're really getting weird. Yeah.
It has decayed I will say, like
Okay.
it is the
It's really gone off the
it
deep
is
end.
reaching the pinnacle of its it has reached its half-life. It is just ready to go out the door, it feels like. It is at that point where the cartoon is weird because they ran out of shit to talk about. So they're just
kind of like this podcast.
yeah, kind of like us. I guess we kind of do like mirror our topic a little bit, don't we? As we started out, we were so eager and so full of life, and now we're just tired and we just want to talk about Happy Feet or just like whatever the fuck else I've brought up and made us like
talk about Happy Feet so badly.
We
Why
can't.
was Mumble such a bad father?
No, he wasn't. All right. Look, let's get back. Robo Frog 3000.
Come on, Renee. Renee, I step aside.
Don't.
Renee, I'm stepping aside. I point. I like gesture to a chair, and I'm like, Renee, Happy Feet discourse with me.
Oh, I can't.
Happy Feet discourse.
No, I can't.
Hey, Renee. Sven, he's a character.
Oh, Sven!
Don't get me started
I
on.
like Sven because
We'll be here all night. Come on.
Wait, you don't like Sven?
No, I don't. All right, but let's not.
But he's he's Finnish. Are you
Tell me why you
racist,
don't
Renee?
Oh my god. But I can't do this.
Oh god, I really don't want to talk about Robo Frog 3000.
Okay,
but you know what?
for
you, Renee, I will.
Robo Frog 3000.
Robo Frog 3000.
How does it open up?
So Miss Warthog is in the office. You know Miss Warthog. I feel like nowadays she just does whatever she wants. I think they realize that she's a funny character, and so they just have her doing whatever at all times. She has like a little train conductor outfit on, and she's playing with like a model train. Like, okay, I guess that's fine.
She has a very nice job because she's like always doing like some weird little fun things, some little like fun little personal task of her own, and PF is just chill with it. Like PF comes in and he's just like, "Hey, Mrs. Warthog, what are you up to?" And she's like, "I'm playing with a little toy train." But
He's like, oh, that's nice.
The Illinois Southern is arriving on time. Finally. You know, they've been relying a lot on this duo in the beginnings of these episodes.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that.
It's just like them two.
Yeah, they do that a lot.
I don't know why it's so easy for the show to start out in the principal's office.
They didn't used to. I feel like we didn't used to do that. We usually would start out with like Adam and Jake in the hallway or like in a class or something.
Yeah, we've really been like, I don't know. A-plot's been involving a lot of tertiary characters lately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I feel like we haven't really focused on Jake and Adam in a while. Like, really focused on them. I guess the second episode. Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. So, it turns out...
Oh, wait.
What is
You
it?
know what it is? It's the monkey's paw playing at her hands. You were wishing for tertiary characters... for the teachers to be in the forefront, and now it's just curled on in.
Just see them all the time, yeah.
They're just...
Yeah, I was so young back then.
You think we got Pod, Renee?
You got Pod. It's like the monkey's paw.
I really hope my other wish doesn't come true.
Oh, where you...
What was your other wish?
Oh God!
Oh no.
Oh God!
Oh no.
Go away! Go away! What the fuck is somebody at my door? It's raining! It's raining! It's thunder!
Oh my god.
Alright, the monkey's paw joke is over.
I thought we were gonna do the whole bit where like doing like the monkey's paw thing, like the guy comes in and he's like, I'm sorry, but your husband died. So here's $500. For you shouldn't have wished for that $500. Now your husband's dead.
Oh man, monkey's paw.
So. No, I'm definitely keeping that in. Anyway, so Principal Pixie Frog needs to get his car washed because he has a date with a model or something, and
An auto show model.
an auto model. And so he's like, okay, well, can you, like, is my schedule okay? And Miss Frog's like, just go. Like, listen, we have a robot you now. And Principal Pixie Frog's like, what? Huh? Like, is
A
this...
robot you.
Yeah, a robot. Oh, that's the running joke. Everyone says robot, and then Principal Pixie Frog is like, no, it's a robot. Come on, everybody.
I don't know
Watch
why
your
this is.
pronunciation.
I don't know why this is like the joke that they chose. Just like,
Why not? Hey, Gert, why not?
well, I don't know. Maybe I felt like it was just a little nothing. Maybe that's it. Maybe I just feel like they could. Maybe I feel like they. Maybe I feel like they just could have tried a little harder on that one. If they were gonna say it the whole dang episode.
That could be said for the
I
rest
think
of
the
this
running
episode.
joke in the second episode is better.
Oh, yeah.
But
There is a robot Principal Frog. Robo Frog 3000, I'm assuming, based on the title of this travesty. The district apparently sent it over that morning. It's to cut waste and all that stuff. And Miss Horthog and Principal Pixie Frog kind of talk about how, I guess this could work because, it worked for the janitor. And we get a shot of a Roomba kind of like bouncing along some walls. And I just couldn't help but remember the fact that the only other janitor we've ever seen was a ghost of a human man.
God,
What happened to him?
Ruben 3000. Was
what
that his
was
name?
okay? Yeah, Renee, you said you were saying earlier we should utilize the My Gym Partners a Monkey wiki a little bit more because it's vast. Maybe
Yeah.
this is a chance. I'm gonna
okay.
look that up. Ruben.
Let me find it. Yeah, I'm already here. Let's see. Okay.
I'm typing this with one hand like an old lady.
Okay, so Ruben.
All right, you're just faster than me, huh, whippersnapper?
So there's the only Ruben here is a platypus, like a background character platypus, apparently.
There's a platypus in this show?
Yo, it was played by Gilbert Gottfried. Don't you remember Gilbert Gottfried?
I did forget it. I forgot he was a platypus. I think in my mind I just saw him as like a creature.
Well, yeah, I guess he was an alien.
This is just
But if there's been platypuses at schools, why am I even bothering? I was about to ask and be like, oh, but how'd they all act all surprised with Rick, whatever the fuck his name was.
it doesn't matter. Look, there's no continuity in this show. We're gonna see that very soon.
God, the
God,
next
I
one
know.
especially.
The continuity errors in the next episode. I can't do
Who cares? Who the fuck cares? Just say whatever you want, apparently, in this cartoon. It doesn't matter. You could just make an episode. Ooh, Jake is a fucking human now.
Oh, wow. So
Be careful, they might take your ideas, Gert.
I kind of had the feeling that this, at first I was like, oh, is this going to be one of those like kind of technology is evil, it's stealing everyone's job kind of episodes. And it kind of is, but also it's My Gym Partner's a Monkey, so it doesn't say anything interesting ever. Ever. So, like,
No?
he goes, like, the Robo Frog brings in Adam and Jake and kind of, like, bumbles around, and Pixie Frog's like, ugh, this guy, he's never gonna really replace me. And he goes to the car wash, and this is a poll. Substitute Principal Wolverine, I'm sorry, is there, like, running the car wash because he was replaced by a robot.
Yep. He fell from grace as a high substitute principal, and now he's got a robot replacement.
It looks really, like, designed. That was the thing that I noticed when I saw Principal Wolverine's robot Sona, was how, like, unique and colorful it was. It was, like, really, like, wild and crazy looking. Like, its teeth were these, like, saw blades that were, like, blue, and they had, like, a yellow outline.
Well, actually, they were green.
Green. Well, yeah, green.
They were.
They were green.
Somebody really cared enough to design that, and I kind of appreciate the kind of wacky robot like versions of all the staff and stuff, because I feel like they could have gone the like easy route and kind of made them like pretty close to their actual models, but like, you know, put a little screws here and there. But they kind of made them like abstract in a way. I really liked those designs.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And speaking of the rest of the staff, they're here at the car wash as well.
Yep, robots.
Everyone's
every
replaced
we
by
get
robots.
kind of like, sorry, go on.
I was gonna say every single teacher has to work at the car wash. It's just sad. The Charles Darwin Middle School has been taken over.
So sad.
By technology,
It's like-
scary.
Like fucking Y2K over here, am I right?
That's not how Y2K works.
There's a moment here where Principal Pixie Frog kind of gives this really half-hearted "zuh," and I just was like, man, they're not even trying anymore. "Zuh," they're just inserting it wherever now. They're just putting it. They're like, can you say "zuh" for us real quick?
All right. Za? Is that how you want me to say it? You know, I could do another take if you want.
Don't worry, just clear your throat. Give us a nice and clean one.
All right. Za? I don't know.
Oh,
Okay, take one.
wow.
That's all. Wait. No. That's what we're gonna go with that one.
Yeah,
take one.
are you
That's
sure?
it.
I
We're
mean,
gonna go home.
What?
Yeah,
no,
listen,
no,
that was enough. You can't.
You sure? I mean, I can do another.
Listen, it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Yeah, we don't have the budget to like. We don't have the time for the recording studio. Like we're really running out of time. So that's fine. Good. Grab your check on the way out. See you next week.
We're gonna be
Okay.
honest. We can't pay you anymore.
Well, I guess.
We just can't.
All right.
The network hasn't given us funding.
I guess
Some
I'll
fucking
leave.
guy named Chowders getting all the bills now. I don't even know if that's right.
Adam enters the lunchroom with Jake, and he's like in mid-sentence, and he's like, "That's why today I'm really excited about lunch." And I want to know what the rest of that conversation was so badly. And of course, Robot Mrs. Tusk does not seem to be what's the word? Good at her job. Just
That's it.
cannot make a Wormy Joe to save her life.
She's turned this like lunchroom into just this. It looks disgusting. There's just Wormy Joe.
There's hills of Wormy Joes all
Yeah.
over, caked in Wormy Joes.
It's just like mounds of it everywhere, and Jake is like, well, this doesn't look right.
This might be wrong.
Mrs. Tusk really messed up on these. Don't y'all think?
It slips. It says something really funny.
Yeah, but first, okay. So the robot Mrs. Tusk glitches out as she's trying to serve the Wormy Joes and just blasts a big beam of Wormy Joe juice at Adam and Jake.
a Kamehameha of Wormy Joes.
God.
And as they're flying by, Slips says something like, then Father said, "Way to go, son! You're a man now."
what
God,
was
another-
that conversation?
I just want to know what made Slips a man.
Who knows?
What was
Who knows? Maybe he could be talking about himself, or maybe he could be talking about a sibling of his that we might know soon. I don't know. It could be anyone, but I just want some more development for Slips. They dangle it in front of me.
God, there must be a lot going on with him, and we just don't get any of it.
Maybe there's just maybe the extended continuity of Slips's life exists somewhere. Maybe not in writing, but possibly in the hearts and minds of the creators of this show. Perhaps
Maybe.
someday. Maybe. Perhaps someday they'll allow us to sort of go into their headspace, their little world, and just immerse ourselves with the knowledge.
Anyway, they all get crushed by robot Mr. Blowhole.
Yeah, he's like a big tank. It's funny.
He's like a bus.
It's like a furnace.
You know, it's
His eyes are burning.
when they showed like all the faculty, and when we say all the faculty, we mean like main character faculty that like got like at the car wash. They show Mr. Blowhole's there too, and I couldn't help but think, I don't know if I'd call him a main character faculty member.
He was only like majorly appearing in the first episode. I'm pretty sure.
He reappears a few times, but like not nearly as like you got Mr. Mandrill, you got Coach Gill. At this point, Miss Tusk really doesn't make much of that many appearances either. I remember like as a kid, she stuck out to me a lot, like as a main character, but like thinking back on it, she's like barely in the show. She has like one episode she really features in.
Yeah, that's really true. And forget about Miss Loon.
Yeah. Do we even see a Miss Loon robot in the crowd with the robots? I don't know. We're gonna have to look back.
There wasn't. I'm pretty sure.
She's mentioned in the second episode, I think.
She was, but she is not a loon. Actually, she is a blue jay. Jeez.
Well, that's for next episode. Anyway, we see Mr. Mandrill cleaning our car.
I wrote in my notes, Mr. Mandrill washing my car simulator.
God,
that's what it is. It's like a point of view like shot, like you're in the car and Mr. Mandrill's on the windshield.
I like how the first thing you see from him is his smiling face. Just him looking at you, kind of like tenderly, and then wiping your window, and then crawling along your window because he's like a monkey and he's able to do that.
I really like how they have Mr. Blowhole in like this funny little wooden tub thing, and then Coach Gill is in like a spray bottle that Horace is carrying around. I think that was really fun. It was a fun choice.
Yeah, I do like that particular bit, that prop of Coach Gill being in the spray bottle. I think that adds a little bit of character to this this otherwise random and wacky scene where they're just all working at the car wash now.
Yeah. And so they even have like gotten, at this point though, they've gotten replaced at the car wash as well because they're going to use an automatic car wash system, Mr. Wolverine tells them. And he's like, I've lost my job too. And so they're like, what are we going to do, Principal Pixie Frog? And they decide that they're going to sue him. And I was like, okay, this is actually kind of okay. Because, that's Principal Pixie Frog knows a lot about suing. That's probably like his biggest strength. This will be like a triumphant moment for him, right? Like he's going to sue the school board or whatever to stop it.
A nice turnabout.
Sue the robots. Uh-huh. Yeah, that's what Mr. Mandrill says.
What was it?
Yeah, he's like, let's sue the robot or the robots.
It's a weird take. I don't know. I mean, it's in character for him, but
yeah, let's sue the robots. Yeah.
In the next scene, Adam and Jake are in Mrs. Warthog's office area, just kind of talking to her, and they're like, well, Miss Warthog, why haven't you been replaced yet? And it's because she has some embarrassing photos of the school board. And Jake pulls up one of those photos, and it's a bunch of, like, middle-aged men in, like, bunny costumes, like, just hanging out in, like, a hot tub or something. Yeah, they're, like, in a hot tub together. And I'm like, what's wrong with this?
What's embarrassing?
Yeah, what's embarrassing about
Especially with the context of, like, how, how things progress through the next...
I mean, we could say it, like, at first I was like, is it embarrassing that they're wearing, like, bunny outfits? Is that the embarrassing... No, they just wear them, apparently.
So is it embarrassing that they're in a hot tub? We just don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe they're drinking alcohol in there. Who knows?
Maybe one of them... Maybe they,
don't say
took
it.
a pee-pee in there.
No.
Maybe that's why it's embarrassing.
Shut up!
Got you.
I hate that. Shut up. Okay. So there suddenly a Robo Miss Warthog bursts in, destroys the photo and the negatives, which were in the mountain that Miss Warthog was driving her train through.
Yo,
I don't know.
We forgot to mention that, like, on the little train set, there's a little mountain. It's a whole little thing of just a train going in a circle and then through a mountain pass. The robot blows it up, destroys it.
The robot blows that up. The robot blows up her zaps her hat, so she's bald now. And what I like here is, like, she tries to, like, go out, pretend like she's leaving, like, this is me leaving, and then goes out, but then tips over the robot and runs away cackling, just laughing. Miss Warthog, I think she's such a great character. I always love seeing her. I think she's one of the best.
Miss Warthog is great. I love her.
Oh, I love Mrs. Warthog.
Yeah, I'm down with Miss Warthog. She can stick around. Unlike Mr. Mandrill, who has well past worn out his stay. Do not want him here anymore.
You don't want
Tired
him?
of looking at him.
Get him out of here.
Poor Mr. Mandrill.
Y'all don't like him cleaning your car?
No.
Y'all don't want him to, like, I mean,
I don't,
he's not saying anything to you. But Renee, he's really good at his new job.
I don't care. I want him out of here. I'm sick of seeing him. I don't hate him, but get him out of here.
Replaced by a
Well,
robe.
that's not his fault. That's the fucking economy. That's the way that things are. People are, like, getting replaced by machines. Weren't you listening?
To what?
Listening to what?
There's no message here. They're not saying anything.
Yeah, they really don't.
The robots were taking people's jobs, and it was happening because of the interference of the school board. I guess, even for car washes. I don't know.
So, next, it's pretty interesting what happens, I think. Miss Warthog robot produces 2 robot versions of Adam and Jake that are supposedly supposed to replace Adam and Jake, the problem students, as it were.
What does this
I
accomplish?
don't know. It makes the student body more docile.
I guess.
What does this accomplish?
I don't know, but as they're running away from all these robots trying to get Adam and Jake, they see their Roomba, and it like falls off some stairs and just crumples. It just like just falls apart. And I guess it's not made well. This gives Adam an idea.
Hold on. Can we talk about how wild these designs for the Adam and Jake robots are?
They look like they're from hell.
Yeah, like,
Why would you say that about them?
They're on fire and shit. They're like really.
Well, Adam's hair is like robot Adam's hair is like fire.
Yeah,
that's just like styled.
And then Jake's like dome
Popcorn
has fire
brain.
inside of it or something. Oh, it's pop.
No, it's popcorn.
Is it popcorn or like
it's
smoke?
popcorn. Yeah, it's popcorn. Like, honestly, these 2 designs are so wild. Like, if you told me to make a Adam and Jake robot, I would not come to these conclusions. I kind of love them.
They're kind of Jetson-esque, don't you think?
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of get like a Roseanne. What was her name? Who was their
Rosie.
Yeah, Rosie. I kind of get that vibe for Adams especially.
Yeah. And then Adam goes, yeah.
Adam starts like talking, and he just kind of like
He like mutters. He just makes like noises, and it doesn't mean anything. It's just gibberish.
So Adam leads Jake out into the front of the school and like walks down the steps, and he's like, look what's gonna happen to the robots. And the robots all kind of like stop at the steps, and Adam's like, oh, I guess they have like some sort of sensor, because I was kind of expecting them to like fall down the stairs like the Roomba. It
was a intimate danger protocol or something like that.
Protocol.
Something to keep them from destroying themselves on stairs.
And so the ending of the episode is approaching, and I cannot stress to you, I actually didn't mind this episode up until this point. Like, I was like, alright, it's pretty, like, standard affair, it's kind of weird, but, like, I don't hate it. I don't know what happens here, really. I really couldn't, like, I was trying to write notes at this point, I kind of gave up. I had no idea what happened here at the end.
This is the point where I realized that this show has, like, just, they ran out of ideas. That's a mean way of saying it, but they just, like, ran the gamut of, like, kid going to an animal school, and they were like, okay, robots, how are we gonna end this? Whatever. Remember when it was a kid going to an animal school?
They say that. Jake says that.
They have
during this climax. Jake, like, kind of whispers to Adam, like, remember when this, like, used to be about a human going to an animal school?
We gotten to the point to where wizards pop out, where a wizard pops
okay, so
out
we
of
have to
somebody's
decode what
truck.
happens here.
Please do.
Okay, so Principal Pixie Frog and the rest of the staff show up, and they're like, okay, we're here. We know who's behind all this. It's the school board. They lift up a bush, and there's, like, those 3 guys, but they're wearing the bunny suits there. And he's like, I'm going to sue you. And I was like, all right, here it comes, the suing, Principal Pixie Frog's triumphant moment. And then the school board kind of just is like, you can't do that. No. And Principal Pixie Frog's like, oh, well.
Oh, well, I guess I can't. All right.
Why not? Why can't we?
Well, they just can't. And so Principal Pixie Frog brings out his wizard. An elderly wizard man pops out from the trunk. He's got the whole shebang, the pointy hat, the starry robe, and he's like just starts cackling and going
He creates an energy orb with his hand, and he's like, ah, yes!
It's real magic!
Yes!
It's not just some, like, random old guy they found and put a wizard costume on. It's a real-ass wizard!
It's a real wizard with actual power!
And it's not just that wizard. There's, like, the school board has their own wizard, I guess. Well, it's a robot wizard, but it's still, like, okay. So now there are 2 wizards, like, they look like they're gonna have, like, a duel, but it just turns out to be that the robot wizard just punches him in the gut with a boxing glove, and then the regular wizard, like, cowers next to Mr. Blowhole and says, "Hold me, my gentle giant."
Ooh. And then... No, this is the part that actually made me... Okay, so then it's like, okay, now the evil robot, the faculty robots are going to, destroy, but then Principal Pixie Frog robot's like, listen, we were programmed to run on love, and there is no love here in the school anymore. We will now self-destruct, and then they all blow up.
Well, Principal Pixie Frog bot blows up. He, oddly enough, sacrifices himself, and Iron Giant explodes.
Iron Giant explodes!
You go, I stay.
No, is it the other way around?
No, remember he threw
You
Hogarth into
go,
the missile, and then he saved everybody.
You go, I stay.
And then he picks Hogarth up and he just tosses him at the missile. You go.
Can you imagine?
I stay.
Iron Giant's like, I'm scared. I don't want to do that.
Yeah. You have to.
Scary. No, I don't want to.
I can't. I'm not gonna do anything, Mr. Iron Giant.
You go.
You go. Just grabs him and like starts aiming. Please no.
Please, oh, my friend.
I'm glad that the Iron Giant was alive at the end of that movie.
Yeah, it's really sweet.
I was so sad when I thought that the Iron Giant died, but it turned out that he was alive. Woo-wee!
Should we put, like, Iron Giant spoilers? Franchise.
I might as well.
I don't know. Just
The movie's old enough. If you haven't seen The Iron Giant, I mean, it's not gonna ruin the impact of the movie. Just go.
I'll put a caption.
Yeah, put a caption.
put something funny.
Go watch The Iron Giant. What are you doing? Go watch The Iron Giant.
Yeah, go watch The Iron Giant. It's probably like about as long as this episode.
It's a 20-minute episode.
No, as long as our episode.
As long as our episode. Right now.
Oh, right, yeah.
So,
podcast.
the very end here is, Adam and Jake talking to Principal Pixie Frog, and they're like, how do we know you're the real Principal Pixie Frog and not a robot? Which is a weird thing to ask, considering they never, ever doubted the authenticity of, Principal Pixie Frog, and the robots were very obviously robots. But then he, farts or something, and they're like, oh, it's you. And that's the end.
He doesn't fart. He, vibrates at, a frequency. And it makes, a
he releases, a gas.
Yeah, he releases, some kind of gas, and they're just like, oh, Principal Pixie Frog, your gas! We should have known!
Oh, jeez. What?
That's the episode.
Yeah, that's the one.
What an episode. God. Can we talk about the bunny school board members?
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Please go on.
So I feel like it was supposed to be a bigger thing in this episode, these bunny school board members. Because we get the sign at the beginning that says
Bunny Free Learning.
Yeah, Bunny Free Learning. And that doesn't really get brought up again, in the context of the bunny principles at all. That isn't mentioned. And I get it could just be a random joke or something or whatever. But I feel like there's greater context that's just missing in this episode that was supposed to be there to make sense of this. It feels like there's a scene that was cut that would explain are the principals wearing the bunny costumes as the embarrassing thing or what?
We just don't know.
No.
We just don't know.
And here's a weird line that happens is that as the plan has been foiled, the robots exploded and stuff, the head, I guess, of the three groups, the one that actually talks, I think the other two don't even talk, looks at Principal Pixie Frog as and I guess my plan's been foiled today, but I will continue to do this. You haven't seen the last of me, and pops off. I feel like he was talking as if he was a reoccurring antagonist who has done similar schemes before, and that rascal school board guy, but we've never seen these guys before. They're completely new, and it's season whatever, it's end game. What the fuck is going on?
Perhaps that's the joke, Lucy. Perhaps
Maybe.
it's
you know what?
Perhaps it's a wacky funny.
But even so, yeah, okay, they're I get that they're new characters, that they're the school board and stuff, but I feel like there's a greater context we're missing. Like I said, there's the bit where they were the Bunny Free Learning. There's the bit where they're introduced as the school board photos. I thought it might have been they were humans trying to dress up like animals. It's been established before that that's a taboo thing. So that could have been something.
Maybe the compromising pictures Miss Warthog would have had were pictures of them outside of their bunny costume. So it'd be oh, it's the scandal. That's who they really are. But it just didn't mean anything because they got destroyed anyway.
It's they were in their bunny suits in the picture. And I kind of had forgotten that when I saw these characters in the flesh for the first time.
The picture's so small too.
Yeah, the picture's really tiny, but when I first saw them outside of Charles Darwin, I thought, oh, they're disguised as bunnies. But then I said, wait, then why were they dressed like that also in the picture? I'm not quite sure.
Anyway, I can't stop thinking about that wizard, that wild wizard that just came out of a trunk and just went around like a goblin going, "Hee hee hee, woo hoo hoo, woo!"
I liked when he went, yes!
Yeah, me
like,
too.
Made an energy beam.
There was something very good about the way that he went, yes!
Now that's good random humor. That just like that's something where like it's out of nowhere and it has a reason to be out of nowhere. The bunny principals of the school boards, what is that?
Maybe. Well, let's talk about the next one. What I really enjoy about Happy Feet 2 is that they added more children characters to the mix. Like, at first, in the first movie, you really only get to focus on Baby Seymour, Baby Mumble, and Baby Gloria.
Right.
But then in Happy Feet 2, they give you Viola's kid, who I forgot the name of,
They give
Atticus, they give you Eric.
I like Atticus. He's the one who says, I'm gonna knock you out, right?
Yeah.
Don't call it a comeback.
Yeah, and then there's also the elephant seal has children, which we didn't see any children elephant seals in the first movie.
They don't
so-
talk or anything.
They do, they
sing.
do talk.
Well, they sing.
They sing, and they talk. They go, what's wrong, daddy? And things.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true. They have a little bit of voice in the, hey, y'all, aside from Happy Feet 2, not to detract from the discussion, I had a dream earlier. Do you want to hear my dream? It's very short, but I feel it feels very strangely appropriate to talk about it on the podcast.
Go ahead, by all means.
So I had this dream where I was like watching a cartoon, right? But I was in the cartoon. You know how dreams are. It wasn't me watching a TV. It was just a vision. And it was an episode of The Courage the Cowardly Dog I had never seen before.
Uh-huh.
And it was a flashback to when Eustace and Muriel were younger. And Eustace was like out in the desert looking at something through binoculars, and Muriel was like kind of far away, and she looked sort of like hippie-esque, like that's how like she was dressed, you know? And she was like, Eustace, I've been stabbed. And Eustace was like still with his like attention fixated on what he was looking at through the binoculars. He goes, oh, a Zubat. Whoa. and then the camera pans out and there's a fucking Zubat right in front of him. And I don't know what this means, but my brain made me think it.
What do you think Eustace would be kind to his Pokemon? He's not very kind to Courage.
He wouldn't be kind to his Pokemon. He has no right to have any animal.
Not even a Zubat.
But like literally, y'all, that's the dream that I had right before this podcast. Right before we recorded this, literally like 5 seconds before I woke up.
Well, I hope it prepares you for this next episode. We're talking about the Ivy League. I really actually liked this episode. I don't know if y'all felt mixed about it, but I thought this one was kind of funny.
I liked this episode because I think you mentioned it while we were watching it, Renee. There's an energy to this episode, and there definitely is. It's some kind of energy.
I would go as far as to say that it is somewhat dreamlike.
It's Portal-esque. It feels Portal-esque.
Yeah, it's like Portal.
I didn't want to mention it myself, but yes, I was thinking that too. It's just that one scene, but like I get what y'all mean.
So this episode has a lot of like fourth wall breaking, which usually I'm not a big fan of, but I feel like if it's the whole episode, it's not that bad, and it's pretty like self-referential. It's funny. The basic premise for this episode is it starts out with Pixie Frog and Warthog, and again they're in their office and hanging out. Principal Pixie Frog's heating up like a prepackaged like microwave meal, because he's saving up for a
Tom
big
Shepard
TV.
pies.
Yeah, Tom Shepard
One of
pies.
the hold on, let me see. He worked on the show. Let's see.
What did he do?
Tom Shepard, you said?
Let's see. Tom Shepard, one of the writers of My Gym Partner's a Monkey. So that was a reference to him. Oh, those like showrunners always like put in references to their staff members.
I can't wait for when my cartoon comes out. I can name something like Gert Stew or something like that, you know?
Gert Stew. So Miss Warthog is alarmed, to which Pixie Frog asks something like, "Are you off your meds again, Miss Warthog?" It's like, what a cruel thing to ask. But she explains, no, you know that Adam Lion, he's not actually a lion. There was a clerical error. And Pixie Frog is like astonished. He drops a coffee mug. This is like the reoccurring joke. Drops a coffee mug and it shatters.
This reoccurring joke is actually pretty good because it's
I
not
like it.
reliant on like an annoying phrase or like repeating noises. It's just the single action of a cup falling and breaking, and it'll happen inexplicably at any moment. Cartoon style, you know?
Yeah.
So, like we mentioned in the other episode, like, the continuity right off the bat here on this episode, I mean, you know, it's to serve the purpose for this episode. Like, they don't even do anything about Adam in this episode.
Right.
Like, they realize he's, like, a human in an animal school and stuff, but they don't do anything to ameliorate that. They're just bearing to mention it again just so that they can like set up the real like situation here,
The
which
real
is that
mix-up. The mix-up that...
Jake is actually a spider plant.
Gasp.
Oh my god.
Also,
Drops
there's
another
no such
coffee
thing
mug.
as a sugar jumper. It was a typo. Gasp. And
That's
then,
not true, but there are sugar jumpers,
No,
but
there's
there
sugar-
are.
There aren't. They're sugar gliders. We've been over this.
Oh.
It's been mentioned in other episodes, but I feel like
Dickie,
they wanted to get all their eggs in one basket here to just, you know, lay it out. Okay, we got your letters. My Gym Partner's a podcast. Our psychic consultant has like talked to us about your complaints. So here it is, all laid out here. Yes, Adam is like a human confused for a lion. Jake, whatever, he's just a spider plant. That's just for the sake of this plot. Sugar jumpers don't exist. Hornbill is a type of bird, not a rhino. Miss Loon is not a loon. She's a blue jay, because loons are actually black and white and not blue. And that's about it. That's what they cover.
Yeah, but basically it felt like they were kind of looking right at us and being like, yeah, you think you're so smart. Who cares? It's an animal show. Like, it's an animal cartoon. You suck.
It's like, you know what? Jake Spider Monkey doesn't look like a spider monkey. He looks like a
plant.
fucking plant. Ha!
So they decide to call in Adam and Jake to talk about this situation. And Pixie Frog's like, well, you're a spider plant. And Jake is like really distraught by the news. Like,
He's like,
doesn't
you're
really
telling me that I'm not a monkey? What? Like, it's funny how quick he is to believe him.
Right? Like, no questioning about it or anything. I do want to say real quick that, like, for some reason this beginning sequence, Principal Pixie Frog is animated in, like, a really fun way. Like, he's more expressive than usual. And I don't know, he looks a lot more like he's having fun just joshing around telling Jake he's a plant. They're ruining his life.
He's just having a really good time, just completely, like, throwing this existential terror and dread about Jake's entire life being based upon a lie. He's having a good time with it.
So we get a So then they go to plant school. I forgot the name of the plant. Did any plant school?
It
Did anybody
is
write it down?
the school is called Creeping Broadleaf Sedge Middle School, or CBSMS. And like Pixie Frog got Jake into this school because his friend, his old college roomie, is the principal of that school. I think his name is Malaysian Palm Frond or something like that.
I just gotta know where Pixie Frog went to college.
I think he specifically says to, like, fraternity brothers. So he was also in a fraternity with a plant. Like, he had to... Okay, do you think Mr. Mandrill was part of the fraternity? Yes or no? I say yes.
Yeah, probably. I mean, like, I feel like Mr. Mandrill... He probably just got that job as a guidance counselor because he had ties with Pixie Frog.
Right? I was, like, literally thinking that.
Like, he didn't...
Keep in mind, he was homeless for a time.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, that is true.
And, like, Principal Pixie Frog was like, I need to help you out, my friend. I don't want you to be homeless anymore. Come work at my school.
And he's like, sure.
Sure, I guess. What can I do? And he's like, Well,
here's a
you
job
could be a
that
guidance
has no
counselor, I
specific
guess.
qualifications. Does guidance counseling have, like, anything that you need to be before
yes,
you can do
you
it?
do. You can't just walk into a school and say, hey, can I, like, talk to your students, like, about really sensitive topics?
What do you have to do?
Well, I don't know. Probably take some sort of psychology class, first of all.
It just feels like, they aren't.
Well, that's how it be sometimes. Guidance counselors in, like, elementary schools and middle schools are usually not very well equipped to handle a lot of things, to be honest. Hopefully that will change in the future.
It kind of just seems like they're people's, like, mom or dad or some rando.
Anyway, there's a school for plants.
Yeah, there's a school
I feel
for
like
plants.
we're skirting the edge of that discussion.
And, like, the thing about this school is, like, Jake walks into it, and there's, like, potted plants. Like, it looks almost exactly like Charles Darwin Middle School, except a lot more planty. And there's these, like, potted plants just kind of littered throughout the hallway, and he's, like, walking through the hallway, trying to put his books up, and it's dead silent. Like, it not even, like, silent, it's got, like, kind of like an AC noise, I think, going on in the background for, like, a majority of these scenes.
God, the AC noise, I really gotta say, adds to the sort of open air, scary feeling that, like, I guess Jake must be feeling from just, like, being in the space.
It's isolated. It's kind of claustrophobic, honestly, with all the plants creeping around. Well, not really creepy. They're just there. They're plants.
The thing about it is, like, the fact that it's a school, and the fact that, like, the plants are out in the halls and, like, in the classrooms and stuff, it implies movement that we never see. And that's kind of spooky.
Well, I mean, maybe I can shed some light on that with ecological facts with Renee.
I gotta come up with a new theme song. Okay, hold on.
Is this a new one?
Which? Doom 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 doom. Ecological facts with Renee under pressure.
Pushing
Down on me.
me.
That's a song in Happy Feet too. Okay, sorry. Go on, Renee.
Yeah, that's all it is.
So there are,
Happy Feet 2 made that song. Sorry, go on.
Well, like, there's a lot of plants that quote-unquote walk by, like, growing, like, spreading and stuff, moss, vines, all that. But there is a type of tree that quote-unquote walks.
How?
Let's see.
What is it big?
Socratia exorissa, I think it's called. The walking palm, or Casapona, is a palm native to the rainforests in tropical Central and South America. Let me read on here. Let's see. I think it's more so that it kind of uproots itself and replants itself.
How does it do that? That's really cool.
Let me see here.
I'd never heard of this tree before, so I'm very interested to learn more from it, from our new expert. I just thought about how much better this podcast would be if one of us was a fucking biologist, actually.
What if we had any sort of degree?
Yeah, like, it would just make this so much better, but we just have to settle for what we do.
My roommate knows plants. Maybe I should
Oh.
ask her. Hey,
Yeah.
Claudia! Come here.
Oh boy.
What do you know about plants?
So much. Too much.
Well, okay, what should we ask her?
Oh, what do you know about the walking palm?
What do you
Does
know
it
about
really
the walking
walk?
palm? Does it really walk?
I wish. It would be really cool, but
Well-
no.
What does it do?
It, like, has, like, these tendrils that, like, go through and, like, create palms in other areas and, like, pseudo-asexually,
Ah.
like...
Oh, so it doesn't...
Like, walks. Just
Oh.
makes noise.
Okay,
So it
it's
doesn't
like a...
move.
If it's the plant I'm thinking of.
It doesn't
that's what it
move,
is.
though?
If it's the plant I'm thinking of.
Hey Claudia, what's your favorite tree pod? What's your
What's
favorite,
your favorite
seed
tree
pod?
pod? What's your favorite seed pod? Gert's asking.
Well, I like the helicopter ones, the ones that... I don't know what they're called.
Those are fun.
Those are fun, Gert
Yeah,
says.
I like those.
Thank you, Claudia.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Provide my expertise.
Plant facts with Claudia.
That's a biologist, by the way, everybody. That she knows. Where were we? We got sidetracked by the walking palm.
So yeah, plants don't really walk.
Yeah, that's,
I guess that's what it all comes down to. Anyway, so
Yeah,
Jake's
the
trying to put his books up, and like there's like a plant in the way of his locker, and he's like, "Well, could you just I'm just trying to put my books up, you know?" And like the plant kind of like doesn't move, and Jake just like very slowly like opens up the plant, like looks through it, like it's just like there, and then he kind of like quietly is like, "Is this how we treated Adam?" Like,
And then we
Adam-
get a flashback to a
God.
scene where Adam's trying to put a book in his locker, but it kind of gets stuck outside the locker, and then you like turn and you see inside the locker. He's just stuck it in between Jake's cheeks, and everyone just like comes out of like the corners to laugh at him.
it's so sad.
it's you know, today I was in a stream and I asked if anybody had seen this show, and it's so funny. It just like from an outside perspective, from like the viewers of this podcast and also like ourselves, how everybody remembers the one factor of this show is that it's mean-spirited.
It is.
And this just kind of reinforces it. Like, it's everything, the central like sort of idea that holds this show together is like it all relates back to how poorly Adam is treated.
At the end of the day, even if Jake is going through a really bad time, it just Adam has had worse.
Yeah, literally the reason that Jake is having a bad time is because he's I don't know, guilty. He's like thinking about like the way he was treated, the way that Adam is treated at Charles Darwin. He's like, now I'm the outsider.
Nah, but instead, like at the end of the flashback, he just says, "But he enjoyed it."
Yeah, he enjoyed that, so it's no problem. And so Jake is in this like classroom, and it's like really white because like I guess there's like some sort of fake sun or something, like some lights.
Harsh
harsh-
UV lights being beamed
Yeah.
down on him. He's wearing
God,
like
yeah.
glasses.
I didn't even think about the school. Like, it's probably like outfitted with some type of like lighting that actually, like, helps plants, like greenhouse lights. Like, I imagine that that's just what this entire school is, like, outfitted with, and it's probably very hot.
I can imagine. That's why Jake starts wearing like a plant pot as a uniform, maybe. Well, that's the school uniform. But anyway, I do want to talk about this like classroom where there's the harsh UV lighting. Jake is just sweltering in this heat. He's like cracking up. There's a pre-recorded like voice going through some speakers, just like a lovely woman's voice. It's like, I hope my plants are doing well today. Here's some delicious nutrients as you grow and whatnot.
Who is this woman?
I imagine it's just like stuff like for like plant CDs, stuff that you get at the store to help your plants grow. Just like a pre-recorded voice from like some commercial company to help your plants grow. It'd be great if those plants got to listen to Plantasia. Like if like Cartoon Network just they licensed the rights to Plantasia just to use for that episode.
Makes me want to like make a YouTube video that's just an image of this classroom, but it's the entire album of Plantasia just to listen to, but with that as like the background image, just like
the background ambiance.
The background ambiance of this plant school for my gym partner's a monkey.
And Jake there. Jake is trying to like do good in this photosynthesis class, because this is photosynthesis class. Of course, he's like trying to raise his hand weakly, and he's like, Mr. Palm Frond or whatever. I'm sweating. I think the mist is giving me a cold. And he's like starts sneezing and stuff, but the palm frond looks on indifferently. And this is why this episode feels different. I mean, this classroom setting is why we mentioned the portal thing, because like the ambient voice from woman's voice from a distance. We got like just like harsh white like environment. It looks sterile. There's some overgrowth because, of course, it's a plant school. Something about it, though, like the quiet like ambience of it, because there's no like background murmurs or like animals talking. It's just plants. It's just Jake there. He's solitary.
Do you think the overgrowth at the plant school counts as like staff?
Maybe. Who knows? There was a sign gag, like when Jake first goes to the school, that says football field tryouts. So that's a clever gag. It's not like they're trying out for football, they're trying out for the football field.
I bet that has a lot of positions.
It's dumb. Yeah. Jake goes to the lunchroom. Of course, like the lunch lady, it's like just a potted plant as well, with some like a rake or whatever, a trowel. Those the gardening tools, like just stuck into her like branches. She won't respond.
Nobody will respond.
So quiet. Oh, it's so quiet. Fertilizer.
I wish I
on the
went
menu.
to the school.
Do you? Well, yeah, I could see you fitting in.
Yeah. I would kind of like enjoy just, being a sterile little plant. And,
did we mention Jake's little outfit? His potted plant?
We
did.
Yeah,
I did.
Oh, sorry.
Well, it's bears mentioning. He's just got like a plant pot that he's wearing, nothing else. And it looks so uncomfortable.
Yes, and he kind of like sits by himself at this like lonely table, and like bear in mind we never see the plants move, speak, but they're always like they were all sitting in their desks at the classroom. They're all like sitting at the lunch tables here, but like just silence. And he's like sitting in this isolated little table, and he's like cold and like hungry, and he like pulls out a notebook and starts like writing a letter to Adam, and it's just about like how sad he is, and it like kind of fades to Adam reading the letter to the pack at like Charles Darwin, and he's I like how it ends because he's like, Jake ends it with like, I only can get out of here if you guys figure something out, and then Adam's like, and then there's just like something gross at the bottom of the letter.
Yeah,
like I don't know what it is.
There's some mystery, like green substance.
It's not. I don't know why it's not, but I guess
it's not.
No, it's a mystery, Renee. There's no telling what it is.
Well, no, Renee, it said it's not a mystery. So what is it?
It's not.
How do you know?
It's not what?
No, it's not.
Oh, it's not what?
The mystery, it's not.
It's not what?
No, it's not a mystery because it's not.
Well, yeah, that's what we're saying. It's not.
Who's on first anyway?
So, Adam pleads to the others, like, let's band together, let's put our heads together, let's figure out a way to get Jake out of there. And the pack are all like, well, I don't know, Adam. Like, it's a bit quieter around here without Jake. Like, we kind of don't miss him. Slips is wearing glasses, and he's like, yes, and I'm smart now because, Jake's hijinks don't bother me anymore.
It was Jake. It was Jake who was pulling Slips back. He was he was the way he was because of Jake. And I'm willing to bet that Windsor is a bit goofy as well because of Jake's influence. That episode, a Midsemester's Life's Dream, that episode exemplified Jake's aura, his ignorance aura that he exudes, because Adam was fully enthralled by that point. I don't know what episode that is in the continuity, but it says a lot. It says a lot about Jake's influence.
It feels very I would believe that was the last couple of in the last stretch of My Gym Partner's a Monkey if you told me, because of just how far gone everybody feels. It's like everybody's Jake. What if everybody was Jake?
But, apparently, since Jake is gone, no one really cares that he's gone, and they're, chill. They're chill with it. But Adam is not chill with this, because he still owes them $20.
Exactly. That's the
and
only reason.
He needs his little monkey friend back, right?
Nope. Just the bucks.
Oh.
Just the money.
Yeah, okay, it's just the money.
So Adam shows up to the school, and I think Jake is walking around the hallway. He this is my favorite scene. I think one of my if you had to tell me pick your top 10 favorite scenes in My Gym Partner Monkey, this would definitely be on the list. Jake is walking through the hallway, and the potted plants are around, and he the AC noise is happening. That's the only sound effect happening. It's Jake walking, and the kind of just buzz of the AC, it's kind of sterile, all the plants are still, and he's kind of and he hears whispering, just whispering of voices, and he's looking side to side, and he's thinking inside his head, he's they're talking about me, why are they talking about me? I know you're talking about me.
Why are you whispering?
Haven't they seen a spider plant before?
Yeah, shit like that, and it's so good, and he's just really losing it.
Really reminds me of that scene in Spider-Verse where Miles has just gotten his powers, and he's wondering after the incident, if everyone's looking at him after that happened, and everyone is totally looking at him.
Absolutely, these plants are definitely looking at him, and he I think he yells something unless you guys are trying to make me crazy, you'll never break me. And he's crying, banging on shit, and then a vine from a plant kind of like falls because of gravity onto his shoulder, and he kind of like is like, you, yeah, like you accepting me, like you like me.
You like me?
You really like me? And we go into like a sort of musical sequence thing where he's like dancing around with like some like flowers falling and everything. There's like bright lights. He's like dancing. The misters come out and mist him, and like he's like waving his wet hair back and forth. Like he's got like
wavy.
a whole.
His long locks. They're very long.
It's actually quite a bit of a sequence. And then Adam is there. Jake is all... Adam is there. Jake's all wet now. His long locks are gone. And he's like, oh, hey, Jake, I was just here to bust you out. Oh, cool. All right.
It's like, I guess we should bust you out now, huh?
Yeah,
I figured
funny.
like we can just use this potted spider plant and replace it with you, or replace you with it.
I think it's funny. It almost feels like they wanted Jake to be like indifferent and like kind of resistant to coming back, but fuck it.
We don't got that long in the episode left. We gotta pull this heist.
We gotta pull this heist.
So, Adam and Jake are outside of Jake's photosynthesis class, ready to make the switch. Adam's wearing the potted plant uniform because Jake tricked him into it. And, which I like Adam's reaction, where he's like shaking his hands in front of his face as he's looking up like, one of these days.
I wrote in my notes like, he's looking up like, God, why? God.
Why did I decide to save him?
So
Why was I put in this show alongside him?
Why was I the red-haired boy that had to be with the monkey sidekick?
Why couldn't Slips be my gym partner?
Do you ever think that Adam thinks that sometimes? Like, what if, like, man, I really wish Windsor was my gym partner that first day. Like, maybe next year I can kind of, like, try and make one of them my gym partner. Have they even been to gym?
Do you think the gym... Do you think if the gym partner, like, dynamic was changed? Like, if suddenly Adam was able to have a different gym partner, do you think that would just make it disappear? Do you think that would just make all this go away? The damage that Jake has caused, his influence?
Jake's influence, as like his arms, are long-reaching and gangly.
They are gangly.
So Adam goes to make this switch, putting the potted spider plant in Jake's seat in the photosynthesis class, and he gets out and he's like, "Ooh, I can't believe we did this. That was almost too easy." Like, they're sneaking around. They're plants.
There's nothing to worry about here. It is just a quiet little school, a quiet place.
I like the subtle joke that, like, it isn't like anyone says like, they're just plants, why are we sneaking around? It's just like there's like this tension for no reason.
Yeah, it's good. And so Adam looks back and Jake is sitting there at the desk and he's like, what are you doing? Like, and Jake's like, I can't leave them, not like this. I have to prove to them that, like, I can photosynthesize. And so he does. I gotta say, it's kind of an anticlimactic ending.
Yeah, I mean,
Jake he strains himself. He's straining himself. You might lead yourself to believe that it's gonna be like a poop joke or something, but he's like contorts. He strains, and then he turns green.
He turn green.
He has achieved photosynthesis.
What if that was the only continuity that, like, stuck around for this show, was, like, after this episode, Jake is just inexplicably green?
I'm reading like the trivia for this episode, and I really like this last bullet point. Jake learns photosynthesis and gains the ability to turn green. Like that's like one of his new like
powers.
robot master powers or something.
God. Do-do-do-do-do. Have you been keeping track of them, Renee? Have you been keeping track of all of Jake's, like, godlike Deus Ex Machina powers?
Oh no, dear me, no. I mean, okay, let's keep track of them. Let's see. There's the
Levitation. Levitation is one.
Levitation, psychic powers. Let's see. Premonition. Let's see. Ability to do advanced calculations. Let's see. Resistance to hypnosis.
We can just put... It's not really a superpower, but I feel like we can just put it in there. He is able to control the hearts and minds of, like, many in the Shiny
He does
episode.
have that. And now he has the ability to photosynthesize, which, is a pretty strong power, honestly, because that could lead to regeneration, like, easier, like, intake of calories without the need to, like consume. That's...
I imagine it synergizes well with the powers that he currently has, because, like, I imagine that those powers take a considerable amount of energy. You see, I'm a realist. I don't think these powers, I don't think they just get energy from nowhere. Jake has to exert energy, right?
Right.
So photosynthesis definitely, like, is gonna help out with that.
Right.
This episode, they just kind of leave.
Yeah, they just leave because, I mean, it is a plant school. But as they're leaving, like, Jake has achieved photosynthesis. By the way, like, as soon as he turns green, is the culmination of, like, the coffee drop gag, where, like, Adam drops his coffee, the plant teacher drops his coffee, everyone drops their coffee, and Jake's, like, pot that was, like, around him, like, falls and drops, and, like, it reveals, like, a leaf.
Yeah, just a tiny
it's
little
really
leaf.
funny because, like, the plants haven't moved or done anything, and then all of a sudden there's, like, a shot of, like, all of them in their desk, like, dropping coffee. It's really funny.
Did Jake grow
that's how
this
you do a
leaf?
running gag. It culminates into something.
Did Jake grow the leaf?
Yes.
I'd like to think so.
I believe that's the impliedness of it, I suppose, with the photosynthesis and all that, right?
Mm-hmm. But as they're leaving, it's the end of the episode, but as they leave, they pass by Principal Malaysian Palmgrass and Miss Liverwort, and they're basically the plant versions of Principal Pixie Frog and Miss Warthog. He says, Miss Liverwort, did that spider monkey just say in photosynthesis? No, wait, no, it was Miss Liverwort that asked, did that spider monkey just say it photosynthesized? And Principal Malaysian Palmgrass says, no, of course not. Everyone knows monkeys can't talk. End of episode.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Was this real?
Did this episode happen? I don't know. What a weird one.
Adam lives in an immaterial world where even he, a lot of the time, can't even claim himself to be the main character. There is a world around him, but it is not a world of substance. It is constantly changing. The rules ebb and flow. There's a school of plants. Plants hold jobs. They go to college. They have careers. I guess maybe that could be another thing to the radiation theory. Maybe plants also achieved a level of psychic influence or something.
Right. It's
maybe.
maybe. We just don't know. And
and Jake bridges the gap between human, plant, and animal. He
is the
has
ultimate
all
life form on planet
he has
Earth.
all three traits, and has all these like mutations, these super powers, and he is the Homo superior, as it were.
Homo superior.
Yeah, Homo novus is Jake.
So that was the Ivy League.
Yeah.
That was the Ivy League.
Not a bad episode, honestly. It's
Really
pretty
funny.
good.
I liked it. Well, I think we should move on to fan art and comments, because we have a few comments and a lovely piece of fan art. Who would like to talk about it?
Well, before we get there, I'd just like to bring attention. We haven't talked about it for a bit, but our Ko-fi page. We have a Ko-fi that helps us run the show, as it were. Helps to pay our thumbnail artist, Ali, who's done some marvelous thumbnails. We can't state enough.
She's done so much work for us. It's wonderful work.
We still have a tier for a sort of a goal to be met for getting Ali a sizable sum. Thanking her, paying her for her generous work to the podcast. So if you like the show, you want to throw a couple of bucks on there, get us a Ko-fi maybe. That would be very nice. Thank you.
If you put a comment on it, we will read it on the podcast. Guaranteed.
It is a guaranteed. It's like buying a coffee, because it's your Ko-fi. It's like buying a coffee. You're gonna get the coffee.
That's right. Anyway, on to comments and fan art. I guess we'll start off with fan art then. This fan art is by at Muir Chiara Muir. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. You can tell me in the comments or at us and say, Renee,
fucked up,
messed up.
You didn't do it right.
But anyway, they write, I'm only midway through my Gym Partners podcast, but in one episode, Principal Pixie Frog mentions not having any polywogs of his own. So, being the person I am, I gave him one. Her name is Pomona Podaki Pixie Frog, although she is not a pixie frog at all, inherited by name. And we have 3 images, 3 wonderful illustrations. The first one, I assume, is Pomona, fully grown, or adolescent. She's wearing a polo shirt. She's a lovely little tree frog.
I love her. I love her so much.
I really like her. I love how friendly. Tree frogs are just a good animal to create a little character for.
Mm-hmm. I like that. I like to imagine that he adopted her.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. And I like the second picture where it's her as a tadpole in a little jar of water, and Principal Pixie Frog's I couldn't find a babysitter.
I
so
couldn't
just
find
brought her to work. I love that.
And then the last image is PF just sitting in presumably the shore of his pond, amongst the pond grass, and then the second panel is him with his lovely bundle of joy, just crying, and he's all brother.
I love the idea of Principal Pixie Frog adopting and having a child. I think he could really be a better parent than a better role model than he is to some of the students.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
I just like this imagery of Principal Pixie Frog as a father. There's one more reply to this that I'd like to read out, because her abridged backstory is that she was stolen for the pet trade, escaped, and washed up on Principal Pixie Frog's property. And he was like, well, I guess I'm a dad now. This happens like
Oh.
the summer before 8th grade for Adam, Jake, and Co., I guess. But I love how well thought out this is. And this is just... I feel like this could be part of the show. This could be an instance where... Adam, do you think you could look over little Pomona for me? I gotta do something.
I gotta get my car washed.
Perhaps we could have a genuine moment for once.
Thank you so much for the lovely fan art.
Thank you. It's wonderful.
I'm gonna read the first comment. This is by Sophia. I'm glad I wasn't the only one who thought that Happy Feet took a weird, drastic turn. I distinctly remember being in the movie theater to see that movie for a second time when I was probably around about 6 or 7. And when it got to the weird human stuff, I leaned over to my mom and was like, this isn't Happy Feet. This is a different Happy Feet movie. But my mom explained to me that I fell asleep when I watched it for the first time. I don't have much to say on that, but I just wanted to share that comment because it's from my little sister.
Oh,
Hi, Sophia!
calling them out.
Who wants to read the next one?
I'll read it. This comment was sent in from Black Hole J. You know, watching this podcast is like a time paradox. It's almost like you guys are in present and the past, all at the same time. And it scares me when I saw this show for the small time I did. I personally hated this show. Maybe I hated the show, the art, or maybe for how it's about school. I don't know why I hated it. And the funny thing is, I didn't watch it. I was just like, man, I just want to watch my show. But after watching your guys' podcast, I'm kind of interested to go back and scared to all at the same time. And it's scary you dragging everyone down with you, and it needs to be stopped. Any who love the podcast, keep it up.
I feel like we're like a siren song. Like we were like, oh man, this episode was really wild and weird. And then y'all are like, I guess we'll check it out. Like, do you want us to watch it? No, we don't want you to watch it.
we kind of like presented this like show. We're just like, this is the show. Hey everybody, and they're just like, oh, well, fuck. Okay, you're doing a whole podcast about it. I guess.
There are definitely episodes worth watching and some that are worth never seeing ever.
Yeah, that's very much true. We should make like you know how people make like those big lists of episodes you need to watch for like, I don't know, like anime, like big long anime
like
that are
like One Piece episodes that aren't filler and like.
Yeah, like maybe we should make one of those for My Gym Partner's a Monkey and be like, you don't need this one. That's filler.
We can like order it in like the continuity that we see fit that like really like works.
Yeah, like we use like our own judgment and we create an actual timeline for the events of the show. Would it be very funny? I definitely think that like the Jake Turns Green would be the last of the series. Just because.
I don't know about that one.
It would. He's never green again.
No, I think it's just like, you know, he doesn't have to turn green, but it's just like photosynthesis is one of his latent abilities. You know?
Yeah.
He can turn the
Maybe.
green on or off.
Maybe. Anyway,
Maybe.
Renee, will you read the next one?
Yes. From Cat Comic Studios, once again, writes, so... was there really not an explanation as to why Adam thought he was an animal in the first episode? Or did I just miss it? Has he truly just gone off the deep end? I guess I feel what you're saying at the end makes sense, that Adam has accepted his lot in life. Now, no longer Adam Lion. He has matured into Adam Lion, as he was always meant to. What a horrible, uncomfortable hero's journey this has been. Also, sweet Jesus' persona, how did the show get away with having a character in a leather daddy outfit? Also, Windsor had the puppet in the screenshot on the truck. Does that just appear once in a while now?
Yep.
I guess so.
We can
Yeah.
we could just bring up anything. It's a cartoon from like 2005. Nothing matters.
Look,
We're
if
late
there's
season. They can put Jake in whatever outfit they want.
If Jake wants to wear assless chaps, he can.
I guess. But if there's anything I learned in like cartoon production from my years of studying it, it's that crowd shots are hard. And you need to just get whatever model sheets, whatever you have, just to put some stuff in that crowd. So I guess like little Teddy, that was his name, right?
Yeah, it was Teddy.
I don't remember.
It was
just a
Teddy.
little
You should
figure
remember,
to like
Lucy.
fit the silhouette.
That's right. So they just put him in. Yep, that just happens. Thank you for your comment. Gert, I want you to read the last one.
Oh, it's me.
I wonder why.
Adeline Haley 1 week ago.
Why?
I don't know why
saying
it said when it was posted.
Why did you say when it was posted? The comment.
It was just like words before me, and I had to like read them.
Just read the comment.
Okay, by Adeline Haley. Sadly, I too remember the Endive's ass. Oh, I see why y'all are making me read this Endive's ass episode, mainly because I had to watch it with my family during dinner. Oh God, that was me. The oh God. So I wouldn't miss the new episode. It was an awful experience. If I had known the episode would have taken that direction, I wouldn't have been so adamant about seeing it right away, making my family suffer as a result. I just love this. Like, the idea of, like, I don't know, I guess you were, like, young. You were like, a little kid, I'm assuming. And you're just like, oh, please, I want to watch Chowder. It's a new episode. And then, like, you just really want it, and your family's like, oh, okay, yeah, we can watch Chowder, it's a cartoon. And then, like, that is what they say, and there's like, what are we letting you watch?
It's such a charged scene, too. It's like, you know, shows of that era, well, like, I mean, there's a lot of shows, like, cartoons that you probably wouldn't feel comfortable watching with your parents because it's got the weird stuff like that. My Gym Partner's a Monkey is one of those shows.
Absolutely.
One of the cartoons that I used to watch when I was younger with my family was 2.5 Men. And that was really uncomfortable. Because occasionally they would say the word masturbate. And I was like, oh God.
I have a story like this where, like, I was just, like, on the couch in the living room. It was kind of late at night. It was, like, Boomerang was just, like, running, like, episodes of Cow and Chicken. And I was watching them because, like, you know, I didn't really get to watch a lot of Cow and Chicken before. I you know, it is another vulgar show of the time. I do agree there. But I don't know. I liked it. I liked the expressiveness of it, the animation, all that. But I was watching it, and my dad walked in, and it was like a bit where, like, they were, you know, the Cow and Chicken's running gag where they eat pork butts and taters, and they were like launching pork butts into their mouths and eating it. And my dad was just like, he was like, he got really serious, and it was like, "Tú no puedes ver eso, no, no, you can't like watch this show anymore. It's inappropriate." And I was just like, I felt so bad. Like, I was just enjoying the episode, and I thought, like, pork butt's funny. And then he just walked in, and he got, like, so grave. And
that's so... The idea of somebody getting, like, that serious from seeing, like, just a fucking episode of Cow and Chicken where, like, butts, just pork butts are getting launched into somebody's mouth. Like, it's just, like, nothing when I think about it, but the idea of that, like, being, like, very serious to your dad is really funny, Renee. I'm sorry you felt bad.
That happened to me, except I was, like, a bit older, so whenever here's the thing you gotta know, is when my parents would tell me I wasn't allowed to watch something, my response to that was like, okay. And then when they weren't in the room, I'd just fucking watch it. Like, when they weren't around, I'd still watch it. Like, so my mom one time was watching me watch like a Jimmy Neutron episode, and it was the one with like the scary puppet that like comes to life and stuff. And my mom thought that was like really scary, and she was like, that's not appropriate for like your age. I was like in middle school. I was like, okay.
That's not appropriate for a middle schooler.
She thought it was like a horror show or something, like because like that early CGI, was like not great, and so it kind of looked a little scary. And she's like, "That's too scary. Like, you're not allowed to watch that." And I was like, "Okay." And then I just kept watching it. So
my parents never actually told me to not watch things, but I was still afraid of them seeing me watch things like Family Guy. Or things like...
It's how risque Family Guy.
Yeah, risque. I didn't want to, like, have my mom see that, even though she'd probably be like, ah! But I remember, like, I would just watch, like, Family Guy or just some other, like, I don't know, shitty cartoon that wasn't funny. And, like, I would watch it at night, and whenever my mom, like, woke up, I would, like, change the channel, like, Nickelodeon or something.
I did that too.
like Family Guy starts up, like, the theme song, bam, and then you change the channel quickly.
Yeah, just, like, I don't want them to hear sex on TV. I don't want them to hear sex on TV.
It's like violence in movies, and then, don't worry, Mom.
Hey, Mama! Nothing goes on here.
2 weeks from now, we will be talking about the episodes Ingrid Through the Outdoor, which I guess we're finally going to get back to some other characters, and the notorious Windsor Gorilla.
Now, I've been excited for Ingrid Through the Outdoor for a while, because it's an episode that I actually remember pretty well, and I really do enjoy it because I think it's like a creative episode. It's kind of like a high school AU episode.
You should just describe it to us. Like, you should just tell us about it so we don't have to watch it right now.
No.
Nah.
Let's just get it. Let's just review it right now so we only have one to do the next one.
No. I wouldn't want the Windsor one to be the only one we watch. Look, alright, but stuff to look forward to.
See y'all in 2 weeks from now. Watch Happy Feet 1 and 2. We're gonna talk about it more in 2 weeks, definitely.
Yeah.
We gotta stop. We gotta stop, or else this is just gonna devolve into a Happy Feet podcast.
I want to have.
Would it be a bad thing if we just took a break from just talking about My Gym Partner's a Monkey? We still named the show, like, My Gym Partner's a Podcast, but they're just 2 episodes in a row, like, 4 consecutive weeks, right? Where it's just
Happy Feet.
Happy Feet. It's like, alright, the next episode we're talking about is, Happy Feet.
And Happy Feet 2.
And Happy Feet 2. And then we do.
Anyway. Thank you all for listening. I'm Lucy.
I'm Renee.
I am Gert.
And this has been another Happy Feet-filled podcast of My Gym Partners, a podcast. See y'all later.
Under pressure.
Pushing down on me. But you're an asshole.
Bye-bye.